All right. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. My name is Drew. Today I bought a piece of Jermaine Rogers art that is totally hidden by an unopened KAWS small lie that I bought. So I kind of started this snowball effect idea of, okay, I either got to move the toy or I'll just open it. As you can see, I have been collecting KAWS for, well, I guess that doesn't really prove any kind of timeline by any means, but I'd say a couple of years now. But as you can see, that's where I like to put them. So I got to thinking about the first time I bought a KAWS toy, which was actually off of StockX. And it was a black colorway of the small lie. Since then, I got rid of him, whether it was in a sale or trade. I don't know. I've been through a lot of KAWS figures. I've impulsively sold entire portions of my collection to get something else, or whatever it may be. It's not really worth diving into that much. Bear with me here. I can go on and on, but I'm going to really try not to. So yeah, in essence, this led me to making an unboxing video that's sort of fused with not so much a legit check, just what you might want to look for. And like I was saying, when I first started collecting, I got this, I bid on this KAWS piece, I got it, and then I'm like, is this real? I remember there was like a little tiny bit of, like a little bit of imperfection in the paint in the eye. The KAWS small eyes have they have yellow X eyes, and I posted about it in a KAWS group, I believe. And some people were like, yeah, small lie was the worst factory production. Some people were like, mine's like that. Some people are like, that's weird. And it left me feeling weird about the figure the whole time. Present day, I believe it was a real figure after everything that I've went through, and I'd be shocked to find out that it wasn't. But I have seen some pretty convincing fakes. I've seen some terrible ones. In fact, I have one terrible one here that I'm going to show you. But I'm just going to try to make this video, I guess, encompassing what I would have liked to have found on the internet when I started collecting KAWS. Because legit checks are, I guess when it really comes down to it, it's nice and it's awesome to have a community of collectors and friends and people that want to help you make sure that you don't get screwed over. It's a cool community. I enjoy it. It can be a little bit nippy sometimes when, people ask for a legit check on a very clearly fake piece. But, one thing to keep in mind is a lot of people really don't know if you don't know anything about KAWS, then, if you just see a figure that you like and you want to make sure that your money's being spent well, I mean, that's what happened to me. I'm just scrolling through Instagram one day years ago. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I like that. Knew nothing about it. At that point in time, if I hadn't asked about it or had friends that collected art toys, I would have known nothing. I would have easily probably ordered a fake and not known the difference. So I guess without further ado, let's get into the unboxing of the brown colorway of the KAWS small lie. So this is an absolutely authentic KAWS small lie. I'm based in Austin, Texas, and I had to take a ride out to Dallas to pick my mom up from the airport. She's coming to visit. Came to visit, is here visiting, is in my room because I told her I wanted privacy while I was doing this. But yeah, I stopped at the museum because I always wanted to show her the clean slate installation that they have there, and they happen to have some small lies in stock. So aside from like KAWS1.com, going to an exhibit or a museum that is selling some of these is your only, I guess, one of two means of 100%, being confident in your purchase. And I'm not saying that trading through groups or buying through groups or, even using StockX is sketchy all the time. Like I said, a lot of people in this community are not out to screw you over like a Chinese manufacturer or something you might find on Amazon. It's not like that. But what I'm illustrating here is I went with one of the two safest ways to ensure that I got an absolutely authentic product. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. I guess before I do that, I should note this is always going to be more valuable left in its packaging, for sure. You take it out, you lose value. I don't plan on flipping this or selling this. Whenever I pick up something from Fort Worth, it's normally a special experience for me. The clean slate installations there, I got to take my daughter to see it, I got to take my mom to see it, and I've been lucky enough to have grabbed a couple KAWS figures while I was there. And beyond me just, being in the KAWS, it's, just an experience. It's kind of more special than getting something off StockX for me to go see the big clean slate and then walk out of the exhibit, with your own little KAWS. So yeah, but yeah, what I was getting at is that when you open this, regardless of, losing value, I personally like to do the least amount of damage that I can. So the top here has something that you'd assume would kind of open like a bag of potato chips. Don't think that really works that well. You really want to do the least, or I want to do the least amount of damaging to this package in case I, lose all sources of income and for some reason have to sell everything I own. I, in theory, want this KAWS to, be as much as worth as possible. Sorry, I butchered those words. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a knife and we're gonna open this the way that most collectors do. Okie dokie. So, along this top seam here, sorry, this isn't gonna be like a crazy edited video or something. I'm not hating on anybody that does that stuff. I wish I could do that stuff. I just don't have the technology or the technological insight. You're gonna wanna just kind of cut along that, going down the middle of it here, it'd be pretty, I don't know, I guess my hat would go off to whoever could get down this little middle opening here. This kind of unfolds. This is two pieces. What most people do, there's this little line here, and you're going to want to kind of cut right under it. So, let's, how can I do this in such a way that helps? I'm going to go over the packaging itself, before we actually go over the figure. So yeah, I'm just cutting I guess as close as I can to this line and trying to keep the packaging as intact as possible here. So I'm not doing the greatest job. See that? I wish every single part of the cut was just like that, but yeah, it's a little serrated. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't do the best job, but I did just kind of create a slit in the packaging here. Nice slit here, so if you did sell it, I would never recommend, like, you know, putting a hairdryer to this and putting it back together if you're going to sell it to somebody. You know, don't, and that's another thing. Don't blackball yourself in this community because it's really not worth it. I can tell you that much. Don't try to sell someone something like it's brand new, because if they collect KAWS and they see that, you're going to get put on blast, and you trading KAWS stuff is going to be a thing of the past in public. So now you have this two-piece plastic covering here. This is going to separate right down the middle. As far as any special features, there's really not too many. You know, the inside is a bit ridged here, as is the top. And as is the translucent back here. So you're going to very gently take that front cover off. Now you're gonna see some other things that I'm just gonna go over before we actually start on the packaging here. We're gonna separate this, and you're gonna notice that the KAWS companion figure, the small eye, is wearing these little plastic gloves. If they are not included on an unopened figure, that's a bad look. That's something you would want to avoid. So we're gonna slip. Oh yeah, I guess I should also note you're gonna have these little booties here, little plastic booties. Gonna take those guys off. I just wish I was wearing gloves. There we go, one glove fell off, other glove. You're also going to have a plastic wrap around the torso. So, you know, like I said, I try to keep everything as intact as possible, even if it's, I guess, in all reality, totally worthless. There should be a little strip of tape here holding this part on. I'm gonna gently unwrap that. And here's my figure. So, we'll keep him there for a minute because there's a couple very important things regarding the packaging that I would like to go over before going over the figure itself. I feel like the packaging really has a lot more to say about the legitimacy. I wish that weren't the case. You know, a lot of the KAWS figures, the fakes that I see, are blatantly fake. If you've spent 20 minutes on the internet and you've never seen a KAWS before, you could probably in 20 minutes be like, oh yeah, it's not, that's you know, BS. But there's some very important parts about the packaging that you're going to want to pay attention to. I say this because I discovered these blush companions, which in essence are, you know, going to be your flayed companion and your regular companion. And if you're not familiar with the regular companion, it's just this, but not where you could see his insides. And it's kind of in this like reddish pinkish colorway. And I saw some bootlegs of that online that were apparently being sold by Original Fake. Another thing I'd like to touch on, Original Fake. That was a I'm sorry if I'm spewing misinformation here, but to the best of my knowledge, Original Fake was in essence the company that KAWS started, or at least was producing toys with prior to Medicom. So if you do have an Original Fake, or if you can get your hands on that, good for you, good find, absolutely a valuable KAWS piece. On the opposite end of that blade, that is pretty much every bootlegger's means of trying to convince you that you're either getting something special or you're getting something authentic. You know, you'll go on Amazon, you'll see a KAWS figure, you will see some options to scroll through pictures. You'll see an Original Fake box, and you know, if you've just done a little bit of research, you might be like, perfect, awesome, Original Fake packaging, that's the one. Not always the case, most of the time not the case. The price is really going to dictate the validity of that case. Original Fake figures are going to sell for a lot more than hundreds, thousands normally. You know, unless you have a very rare instance or a very nice friend that is doing you a big favor. So anyway, let's move along to this packaging and what's important about it. Not too much going on here, right? Plastic bag. There is actually a lot going on here. The front, you're going to have, and it might be kind of hard to see, but it's kind of this sketchy outline drawing of the small y. A lot of figures come this way for KAWS. So, to my knowledge, the inspiration behind this is that, KAWS has sketched a lot of things out like this to where you'll have a line, but it'll actually scribble along the line. I don't know how well you can see that on this translucent packaging. You're gonna have KAWS small y at the top. You're going to have the year with a little tiny copyright sign in front of it. Am I getting that? Yeah, there you go. It's right above, sorry, I'm just going iPhone here. Right above the lie, it just says, it has the copyright KAWS ... 17, 2017, the year it came out. You're gonna have like a warning down here. Choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years. Sorry, I'm reading that backwards because I'm reading it through the packaging. For ages 15 and up. Adult collectible, not a toy. So that's what everything on the front should look like. You have a lot of stuff on the back here, clearly not in English. But there's gonna be, I'd say, one very, very important part about this packaging, more so than anything else. First of all, you're gonna have, your little KAWS small lie. It's gonna say brown under. It's gonna illustrate the colorway, barcode, whatever. Good, glad we see this. But here is the kicker. And I say this, and I try to stress the most importance here. Because, these blush colorway, the fakes that I saw, the KAWS companions, it honestly put a pit in my stomach because I was like, I cannot see anything fake about these figures. We're gonna go over what you wanna see on the figure, but I saw everything that I would be looking for on these particular fake blush KAWS. I mean, the video started from in package to out of package. There's no words, it's just music playing behind someone basically spinning, you just see the package spinning around, or someone spinning around it on camera, and then all of a sudden they open it and they unbox it. Here's the kicker, right? I was like, oh my God, that's spot on. How am I ever going to buy a KAWS item, product, piece of art, and have full confidence that it's real? Granted, it's not coming directly from KAWS 1 or the Modern Art Museum, being that they're hard releases to catch sometimes. They sell out like that on KAWS 1, and unless you're anywhere remotely near a Modern Art Museum, good luck having confidence, in your purchase. Here's what I'm talking about right here. There is a very important seal here. Now, you may not be able to see this very well on camera, and maybe these black numbers have some importance. I'm sure they do to some degree, but this is a holographic seal here, and this holographic seal says Medicom toy. Now, the other very important part of checking out this seal to make sure that it's absolutely authentic is that under a certain light, Medicom toy is going to go away, and Clever Toy, the words Clever Toy Company in a different font are going to sort of, I guess, reveal themselves, so to speak. This was the only aspect missing of the greatest fakes that I've ever seen. So when you are purchasing a KAWS product, you want to make sure that not only does it have this holographic seal with black letters or sequences of characters in the middle, you're going to want to make sure that it not only says Medicom toy, but under another lighter angle, it says Clever Toy Company in a different font. Let me just make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, Clever Toy Company. So, I think we're all good on packaging here. Let's move along. Before I do that, I'm gonna do what I always do with any KAWS product that I buy and plan on taking good care of. I'm gonna put every little bit of the packaging back where it belongs. Not throw any of the plastic out, because some people want every little bit of it, which I totally understand because I'm one of them. And we're gonna move on to the figure here. So, I'm not gonna sit down. I'm gonna get tired if I sit down. Let's put this away before I hurt myself. Okay, so this is the brown KAWS small eye. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any fake brown KAWS figures to compare this to. But in a minute, we will go over what a blatantly fake figure looks like. But for now, I'm going to show you what you're going to want to look, what you are going to want to look for here. Production quality, whether somebody says this figure had the worst or this figure had the best. Number one, they don't really know. Number two, it's going to vary, but microscopically. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to go back to my first small eye that I ever had. The only thing that really concerned me was that the eyes, they just imagine the head is completely black. The eyes were yellow. The paint was just somewhat uneven. Like there were little parts where you could tell the yellow either faded or wasn't painted perfectly, and you could see the black coming through. And I was like, well, I heard every KAWS figure should be totally perfect. So to sum it up, to know you're getting a good product, it should be pretty much to the eye perfect. Another important part of buying a KAWS product, an authentic one, is the shape of the X's. That's going to be also very important. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to revisit this small eye in just a second, and I'm going to show you something here. This is an authentic KAWS Pink BFF. I have a 4-year-old daughter that is absolutely enthused by my art collection. And it's awesome to see how much she loves some of my favorite artists, KAWS included. Now, with that being said, I'm obviously not going to get my daughter her favorite. I have to be quiet because she's in the bedroom watching a movie. I'm not going to get her a real, KAWS companion or BFF or fucking anything. That would be a mistake because she's 4 and she's going to drag it through the dirt. Okay, so what we're going to do here is take a look at a KAWS Pink BFF next to a knockoff KAWS Pink BFF. So, as you can see, it's pretty clear which one is real. But reverting back to what I was speaking on about the eyes of a KAWS figure, these ones are obviously different. They're round and bulbous and sit on the face. But as you can see, there is a congruency in all KAWS figures. The X's are very clean. Beyond being clean, they're fatter at the bottom and they are pointier at the top. As you can see here, not so much the case. As far as paint goes and the X's, you're gonna have X's on the hands, you're gonna have X's on the feet. They're all gonna have that same congruency in regards to, how clean they are and the shape that they are, with the big part at the bottom and the pointy part at the top. Clearly we have flaws here. Anything reminiscent of this is absolutely not real. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Might be hard to see, but here's a KAWS share, the black version. Even the little BFF has the congruency in the eyes, big at the bottom, small at the top, big at the bottom, small at the top. X's covering the hands, same thing. Same thing. So that's important. Beyond that, I want to talk a little bit about the texture of a KAWS, or the consistency of the vinyl. KAWS, and I actually learned this through a video when I was trying to figure out KAWS stuff. KAWS companions are, or BFFs, or I'd assume most of what he comes out with, aside from what isn't vinyl, is going to be very hard vinyl. You shouldn't be able to lightly press here and have this pushing in. You should have to be squeezing with all of your might to get this thing to bend in the least, just about anywhere. Well, actually, I stand corrected, anywhere. This is a hard figure. This is heavy. I don't know exactly how much it weighs. It probably would help for legitimacy's sake to put one of these on the scale, see how much it weighs. That's information you could probably find on the internet, but that's information that I haven't found on the internet. But this is not like a Sofubi toy or like a soft vinyl toy. This is not like, I'm trying to think of something that I could compare it to, a toy that we're all familiar with. This is just not a plastic toy that you can bend, or like you could definitely break it. But yeah, it's very hard vinyl. The detail, although a KAWS figure is simple, should normally be pristine, as we discussed. Now on a small eye, you're gonna have these almost gray, greenish ears. You're gonna have almost like, and my lighting isn't the best here, like a whitish, almost between white and skin tone, sorta. I mean, I think that's what we're going for here. Another thing I'd like to mention while I notice, there's gonna be little black lines between the teeth that are gonna be very clean. Now, if that is, you really can't compare here because this figure doesn't have that feature, this fake KAWS. If there's anything that's like not clean and just totally not consistent, it's a totally bad sign. Now, as far as the figures are concerned, like I said, I think there's a lot more to look for in the packaging. Consistency, weight, hardness, thickness, whatever you want to call it. X's being very cleanly painted and not, jacked up like that. Thicker at the bottom, sharper at the top. All things that you are going to want to be looking out for. Now here is the last thing that needs to be mentioned, because you can catch a lot of fakes just like this. A lot of people ask for a legit check. Someone's trying to sell them something. They post some pictures of the item that somebody is trying to sell them. You might have an angle like this. You might have an angle like this. You might have the packaging included. But you're also going to see something that all KAWS collectors need to see: the bottom of the feet. So on the bottom of the feet here, we have KAWS .17, KAWS 2017, small Y, and that's going to be on the right foot. It's going to look like it's almost written on with a brown marker when it comes to the brown colorways. The other foot is going to say Medicom Toy China. Now, you don't want this to be sticking out. You don't want this to be imprinted. You want this to be purely and simply smooth, looking like it's been written on there with a marker. I'd assume that was what the look he was going for was anyway. Now, I'm going to show you some other KAWS figures' feet so that you can see what you should be seeing, on your legitimate, authentic figure. And it's all going to be somewhat similar, just in different colors. But that's important to pay attention to as well. This is what it's going to look like on a pink BFF. I had a blue BFF. I don't remember what the feet were. They may have been yellow. I could be wrong. Let's just forget I said anything. I don't want to confuse you. But on a pink BFF, you're going to see KAWS .18 Open Edition, Medicom Toy China. Notice that the font is a little bit different on this particular pink BFF. I will say, in regards to this figure, I bought this from a gallery store that my buddies owned, completely unopened. I got really lucky with this one. Not going to get too much into price, but this is an authentic figure. Shiny eyes, everything's just immaculate. The texture, this is all shiny, off-colored. You can, we're over that guy. Here's what you definitely don't want to see. Absolutely nothing. But I'm going to also touch on what else you're not going to want to see. We kind of talked about it a little bit already, but, we'll sum everything up. So, like I said, the black figures, the new black figures, they don't actually have the yellow paint on the eyes, which I at first didn't like, or the hands or the feet for that matter. But upon actually getting the piece, I really enjoy it. I think it's just a cool feng shui, look nice in your home piece of art. KAWS share came out in 2020. It's got the ... Medicom Toy China. Yellow. Keep in mind yellow. You want yellow writing on the black figures. Now, all of the monochrome figures, and that's a big reason I don't have many of these. I used to have a ton of brown colorways, but then all of a sudden I was like, I want everything in my apartment, all KAWS toys to be monochrome. It looked cool. Now I don't care as much. Writing's going to be a little bit thinner on a KAWS flayed. That's what they call this figure, the flayed. So, I just realized it's all backwards. Well, whatever, you can make sense of it. KAWS, 2016 Open Edition. This is going to be in a, different hue of gray. And it's also going to be consistent with the other monochromes. Same deal on the passing through. Same deal on the clean slate. This is one of my favorites for a very, very sentimental reason. One of my favorites. And as a parent, a single parent, I'm sure you can put together why. Anyway, that's what you want to see on the bottom of the feet. You don't want to see nothing like this. You don't want to see imprinted. I've seen a lot of people asking for legit checks that say, LC, and then a bunch of pictures, LC question mark. And then, everything looks, well, to me, just because I know, bad. But then they show the bottom of the feet. Now, what you absolutely don't want to see is, I don't want to, engraved would be the wrong word, but the letters actually written small into the feet that are, I don't know, do I have anything like that here to compare it to? Okay, perfect. Glad I picked this up. So here's just a little Ron English toy. But as you can see, as you can hopefully see, let's try to focus in here a little bit. All of his stuff is kind of embedded into the feet. That's going to be a no-go on any open edition. So trash it, don't buy it. You don't want that if you're in the market. Don't buy anything off Amazon. That's a given for a KAWS collector. Yeah, and as far, as moving forward, if you are looking to purchase a KAWS piece, like I said, I'll give you my reliable sources that I like to go through. KAWS1.com. You just have to look out for his release dates. It's difficult. You might be on there the same minute that the thing releases, and it might be gone before you get to check out. Sucks, but you know, it's a thrill. Sometimes it's a bummer. Otherwise, yeah, you know, the modern artwork, or yeah, the Modern Museum of Art, MoMA, yeah, MoMA in New York and MoMA in Dallas. Two sources that I trust for, you know, good reason, because they are getting them directly from the source. They definitely would not be selling fakes. I haven't actually purchased from someone that I don't know through a Facebook group. That always makes me nervous. Although I'm sure it goes over well all the time, I'm sure sometimes it doesn't. I personally wouldn't do it. I'm not recommending that you don't. I just don't like to, because I'm obsessive, and I couldn't imagine Venmoing or PayPaling someone, you know, a few hundred or more, close to $1,000 or more dollars, and just hoping something shows up, let alone something real. Although from what I understand, it works pretty well for a lot of people. Outside of that, I'm going to give you my personal third best way of obtaining an authentic KAWS figure. And when I say third, I say it because it's probably the last route that I'd actually like to go, but probably the third safest for what's in my parameters of, you know, I will or will not do this. StockX. StockX is a site or app where you can buy from people. You can buy brand new objects, or, you know, mostly clothing, sneakers, hype stuff. KAWS stuff went up there early on because they recognized the hype around it. Now, what happens on StockX is it's, you know, someone creates a page and they can list things for sale. You'll search for it, you'll find it, you'll find somebody's highest asking price. You can bid on it, or you can just buy it outright. Now what happens is, let's just say you buy the product outright. Hooray, congratulations. Now what happens is the seller sends their item, let's just call it a KAWS small I, sends their KAWS small I off to StockX to be authenticated by their master authenticators. So basically, they look the product up and down to the best of their knowledge, look for any imperfections, look for any signs that it might not be brand new, and obviously, you know, their main goal, aside from making sure it's brand new, is obviously making sure it's real. With that being said, I've been on StockX for a couple years, and it used to be very limited. There weren't a lot of art toys on there. It was like KAWS and Takashi Murakami, and I don't really think there was anything else on there art toy related, back when I used to frequently check and use it. Now, I mean, you can buy like computer parts on there. So I guess, you know, I had that issue with the paint in the eyes on my first small I. That came from StockX. I posted about it on Reddit, and this is something that I really didn't like that I heard. A random person that I didn't know messaged me in regards to StockX, and he's like, yeah, I actually have a couple buddies that work for StockX as authenticators, aka, like, you know, quote unquote, aka my buddies are idiots. So, like, this is what he's saying. He says, my buddies are idiots. So, you know, in that regard, you may have ended up with something fake because they don't really all know what they're looking at. I can't really hold anybody to that. I don't know anybody that works for StockX. I've never been in a StockX warehouse, but I will say this. StockX has probably, I don't know, definitely thousands and thousands and thousands of items, if not maybe even hundreds of thousands. I'm not sure. It's grown exponentially. That Ron English figure I showed you, you can get. Jason Freeney stuff, you can get. just about anything you can get. So, you know, with that being said, my fear and concern about StockX is that you can, you know, the authenticators are constantly dealing with new stuff. And that scares me a little bit for sure, because they have to get used to what they're looking at. Back when I was on StockX, and KAWS and Takashi Murakami were just about the only things you could find on StockX, that, you know, who's to say whoever wasn't verifying my product hadn't looked at it like once or twice before. Hi, Gigi. Just get it. Go ahead. All right, we got 40 minutes into it, and we at the tail end failed at keeping the kid in the room. So anyway, point being, yeah. Okay, so point being, StockX is supposed to be a very reliable means of obtaining an authentic KAWS product, or any product for that matter that, you know, is a high dollar amount that requires verification. Not requires it, but, you know, I guess you could say, you know, where people most desire it. I just personally have had some iffy feedback in regards to the KAWS figure that I bought on there. And, you know, in regards to those blush figures that I spoke of, by the way, this is part 2. This is probably just going to be uploaded separately. That made me like question the blush figures that I used to have. I was like, well, those were perfect. Everything top to bottom, from the consistency in the paint and the shape of the X's and the writing on the feet, was perfect. They did come with the seal, but that even got me thinking, what if somebody stuck, you know, had a real KAWS and ripped the little Medicom clever toy company seal off and stuck it on this fake blush to make an extra couple bucks? Who knows? But with, you know, all that being said, StockX has been carrying KAWS stuff for years now. As far as art toys, I would say they are probably a staple of what StockX has to authenticate. They're always getting new and different stuff, just like these Ron English guys I showed you, you know, Travis Scott cereal. They just have a ton. So when buying off StockX, just, you know, consider that someone's verifying your product, and you can only really hope one, you know, for two things, being that your authenticator is knowledgeable and, you know, knows what they're looking at, and 2, that the people producing these fakes aren't getting better and better. So that's why StockX is kind of my last resort personally, because it is not a guarantee. I have had an instance in the past where I bid on something. It was a KAWS holiday figure. I won. My product was being sent to StockX from the seller. And then I got an email and a refund because there was a problem with the seller's product. You get a very vague message if they see something they don't like, but there is no further explanation than that. So, KAWS 1, safe, always. MoMA, Modern Art Museum, always safe. Facebook groups, hopefully safe. Find someone reputable. There's absolutely a number of sellers out there that have made a name for themselves doing so, and, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed that they're not going to screw you over unless they woke up one day and totally changed their agenda to having a good reputation to a bad one. So other than that, yeah, that was the unboxing of the KAWS Small Eye Brown Edition. Definitely authentic. Remember the seal. Remember the deal. And I'm outie. Thanks for watching. I hope this definitely helps someone that was like me, really hoping for a video like this to exist at the time. And it didn't, so that's why I did this. And also, you know, to bring it full circle, to have my new Jermaine Rogers print visible in my collection. Wouldn't have made the unboxing if I wasn't like, well, got to take that out of the box. So thank you for watching. Hope it helps. Peace. Oh, I guess I should also mention, you know, just for the sake of me putting this on the internet, I am a toy maker myself. I make resin figures. I go by Plagued Earth Productions. I make really weird stuff. I'm not going to get into how or why this is the way it is. You can read about that if you'd like to follow me on Instagram at DrewBaby, DREW, and then the word baby, except it has 3 Y's instead of 1 Y like the word baby. Here are a couple examples, very quick examples of some of the resin figures I've made. This is Powdered Piss Man. The first one with the little battery and the penis is Boogers. Eric Sindros. If you're from Philly, you probably get it. If not, if you're not a hockey fan, you probably don't. Black Metal Ducky. And I have some new stuff coming out. Oh yeah, this is Ultra Lame. Everything comes in, you know, packaging with, it's just bag headers, just, you know, just trying to go classic, basically resin collectible style artwork by a lot of tattooers and artist friends that I've worked with. So if you like this video, I don't really care if you like and subscribe. I'm not a YouTube guy. But if you did want to check out my own work or have any questions for me regarding authenticity, KAWS stuff, Takashi Murakami stuff, or my toys or my toy collection, you know, feel free to contact me on Instagram at DrewBaby, DREWBABYYY, or Plagued Earth Productions, all one word, where you can see my toys. Find a link in my bio on either or if you like them enough to purchase. And yeah, so there's part 3. I think that's it. I'm sorry, I'm bad at wrapping up. I'm also bad at keeping things short and sweet, as I'm sure you've learned. So, peace.